Modimo ka lapeng le amola nana la rona le ratehang la the ladies club mona mo kanaleng ya rona ya bobedi mo e motle nna lebitso la ka ke Lebo Motshwedi.
My name is Velen Kirtley and it's so good to be with you. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month and we'd like to encourage you to support all those that are battling with cancer and to educate yourselves and your loved ones about the disease. There's lots to look forward to on today's edition of the Ladies Club. We are joined by three-time Olympian Bridgitte Hartley, just returned from another medal-winning performance at the World Championships in Portugal. We're going to have her in studio to speak all about sport, life, being a woman and being a woman in sport. My name is Velen Kirtley. I'm so happy to be with you.
Mo e motle hopolang hore o ka bua le rona ko @sport at SABC # the Ladies Club. We are also on Facebook. Sebedisang fela # the Ladies Club. Empa he gompieno we zoom in on all the wonderful women who have stunned the world by winning Olympic medals. For athletes, there are fewer higher honors than winning a medal at the Olympic Games.
And you know, taking home a bronze, silver or gold medal means that an athlete has triumphed among the world's best competitors. And now, imagine what it means to be a woman and an Olympic medalist.
South Africa's canoe sprint athlete, Bridgitte Hartley, knows exactly what we're talking about today, and she'll tell us a little bit more on her story.
I look forward to that. Before we get into that, we are focusing in on those ladies that have won medals at the Olympic Games. And you think about great Olympians, and I think about one, Jackie Joyner-Kersee. She is one of the most decorated female Olympians in track and field history. Unfortunately, South Africa can't claim her as their own, though.
Not yet. She was the first woman to earn more than 7,000 points in heptathlon. Joyner-Kersee won 3 gold and a silver, as well as 2 bronze medals during her career. Wow.
Yep. So from one did you know to an inspiring person into our inspiring quote of the day, Libs.
It's time to get the show going with another inspirational quote. It says, "It's important to me that youth everywhere, no matter their race, religion or gender, know that anything is possible with perseverance." And Manswana Kia Ultihaj Mohammed.
Ibtihaj Mohammed is a member of the United States fencing team and is best known for being the first Muslim American woman to wear a hijab while competing for the USA in the Olympics.
Incredible work. At the 2016 Olympics, she bagged a bronze medal as part of Team USA in the team event, becoming the first female Muslim American athlete to earn a medal at an Olympic Games.
Oh man, it's absolutely brilliant. Ibtihaj has been a member of the United States national fencing team since 2010 and is currently ranked 3rd in the USA. She's a 5-time senior world medalist, including the 2014 world champion in the team event. And like she says in her quote, it all starts at being inspired as a young person and persevering with those dreams.
We can go anywhere, really, if you don't have perseverance, dedication, something that says, keep going, don't give up. You have to persevere. Quick break because Harry Khutla re tlo ikopantsha le guest ya rona eleng Bridgitte Hartley. Dulang le rona mona mo kanaleng ya bobedi.
Welcome back. You're watching the Ladies Club. Please join us on Facebook as well as Twitter. It's just so easy. @Sports at SABC, @Lebo Motshwedi, @Velen Kirtley. We'd love you to be in contact with us.
Banyana have moved to 50th on the latest FIFA World Rankings following their 5th title victory at COSAFA Women's Championship.
Yeah, they defeated Cameroon 2-1 in the final at the Isaac Wolfson Stadium in Port Elizabeth. The Desiree Ellis coach side have also moved up to 4th in the continent.
Really incredible. Ghana, though, to remain as the 2018 AWC host. The Confederation of African Football has confirmed that the 2018 Africa Women's Cup of Nations will be hosted by Ghana now.
Yeah, CAF contemplated stripping Ghana of the hosting rights recently, and then we all put up our hands and said, yay, South Africa are ready to host. But then they said no. The government temporarily took charge of footballing matters following the resignation of the FA president, Kwesi Nyantakyi, and that all changed.
Yeah, because he now stepped down following an investigation by journalist Anas Aremeya Anas, who secretly filmed him discussing plans to set aside 25% of a proposed sponsorship deal to a company he owns. And that was in a documentary called When Greed and Corruption Become the Norm.
All right, so South Africa won't be able to host it, and we thought that we'd get home ground advantage for Banyana, but you know what, it's good because what that means is that the Ghana Football Association are undergoing reform, and that can only be good for the game on the continent. So we wish them all the best of luck because the tournament's not that far away either.
No, it's just around the corner.
Just around the corner. Time now to introduce you to our game changer. She was introduced to paddling while she was still in high school, but only really started taking canoeing seriously later in her life at TUKS. She's now a fully-fledged sprint canoer and has been competing since the late 2000s.
Bridget is one of the most versatile athletes after having taken part in surfing, hockey, athletics, gymnastics, and even water polo. Everything in her star power shined even brighter after she became an Olympic medalist in 2012. London. Welcome to the Ladies Club Lounge, Bridget. It is so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's amazing to be on the show.
Okay, so as Lewis said, you were basically involved in every sport that you could actually get your feet or your hands into, but you chose to focus your energy in paddling. Why?
I think I was a little bit of an overachiever at school, but that was all about getting the badges and the colours, and it was all about chasing the goals, so I was always a goal achiever. Except I was never the best at anything, and when I studied at TUKS, I played a little bit of hockey, but I was never in the first team hockey at TUKS. I was in the third team, and now I'm sure there's up to 10 teams, so... And then my dad was paddling and he introduced me to it, and I never really enjoyed it that much. But then a few guys at university saw me paddling around the little TUKS pond, and they said, there's a Hungarian coach in Benoni.
Wow.
Maybe I should come and join them and I could sprint for South Africa. And I actually first said no. Sprinting is like swimming in lanes. I'm sure that sounds so boring. I want to do the river races and race. That's more of an adventure to race down a river. And I think after training with the squad and getting a little bit of a taste for improving, and I really started enjoying it. And obviously my coach Nando taught me how to paddle properly, and I just really, from there, I just went from strength to strength.
Wow. Now, anyone that's watching would think starting paddling at university level as a new sport is too late. So wasn't this the case with you? Clearly not, but how did you find then starting a new sport at that stage?
I think I'd already started at high school, but I just didn't really enjoy it so much. So I had been in a boat at the end of high school, and I surfed before, so I think I allowed my upper body to be a little bit stronger. But like I said, I always did sports. I did gymnastics at boarding school when I was at Pretoria Girls High, and we used to train for 2 hours on a Tuesday and a Thursday evening. So, and in between that, I did athletics and and hockey as well. So I think I was really a bit of an athlete. It was just about getting the specific muscle groups, and I started doing gym a bit later as well, which maybe was also a blessing in disguise because I never got bad injuries at a young age, so I only started loading weights when I was older as well.
Wow.
When did you realize that, you know what, I've done a whole bunch of sports, I am sporty, my destiny is somewhere in sports, but you know, canoeing is actually the one for me, and I can actually be the best at this one sport?
I think it took a few years to realize that, because when I first started paddling, I then watched Alan van Coller, one of our male paddlers, compete in Athens, and then I was at university, and I remember studying for exams and watching it on TV and thinking, wow, I'm doing this. Like, that's quite a cool goal, but I never really ever went to bed every night dreaming about the Olympics. It was never something that I was aware of growing up. I was just naturally a bit of an overachiever, and I was so competitive even with my brother. I was always trying to be better than him, and he's not even competitive at all, so I'm not quite sure him and I got the complete opposite genes. So I think it was slowly but surely being able to compete and being in an environment where I was improving all the time, but obviously with the help of a Hungarian coach who knew how to tell me what to do and how to train, and I think that environment just allowed me to flourish, and then I found myself qualifying and competing in the Beijing Olympics, and I think that fueled the fire to say, I want to do this again for another 4 years, and I want to go for a medal now. I don't just want to be a competitor at an Olympic Games. I want to compete to also be on the podium.
So when you started realizing that, okay, this is a thing, I could win at this, I could be a winner, I could be a South African, wear my green and gold, the mindset, how did that then change into completely, okay, I've qualified for the Olympics, this is a big deal now, I need to focus even more?
I think you never know for real that you're going to get a medal, because it's all about competing on the day, and everybody's strong. It's just about getting it right on the day. But I think it's just that hunger, that fire that burns, that every time you race, you say to yourself, okay, now I know who I'm racing against. Now I want to beat that person. And so every single time you sort of, it just motivates you when you compete and are successful. But sometimes when you're not successful, then you want to improve the following year. But they all add together to keep you competing.
And you found the adventure of just going in a straight line in the boat, and it was no longer boring, just to kind of swim in lanes.
It's the craziest thing. I actually love it. I love being able to work out a race plan, and I love the little butterflies and nerves, because you always get nerves before a race, but now I can control them a little bit better, so I'm not freaking out completely. And I almost prefer it. Once you start warming up, it's better. I'm more nervous before. When I have to wait, I look at my watch and it's like, okay, it's too early to warm up. You just have to hold yourself back, and then once you get on the water, then it's really exciting, because then it's all about just racing your race.
Bridget, you've been to the Olympics, you've won medals, you've been to the World Cup as well, world champs. What would you say is the highlight of your career?
I would definitely say winning a medal at the London Olympics. That was probably the most incredible moment, even standing on the podium, having both my parents there to watch me, and loads and loads of friends that I'd made through paddling as well. It was really the most incredible moment for me ever in my career.
Wow.
You had qualified in quite spectacular fashion for the Olympic Games, so there was some expectation that you would be able to medal. But when you did medal, you actually seemed surprised by the fact that you had been able to win an Olympic medal.
I think whenever you're going into competition, there's always this hope. But I had the most amazing races. From my heat to my semi to my final, everything went so well that there definitely was the pressure, but I still didn't know that I could really medal, because lining up in lane 5, it meant I was the favorite, but I knew it just meant that I'd won the first semi-final. I knew the Hungarian was always going to be a strong competitor, and I knew all the other girls that I was racing were also extremely amazing athletes. So it was just about staying focused and racing your race. And I think the hesitation of being unsure was that the first and second place was definite, and third and fourth was unsure. So when they put the results up, they almost had to replay it. And then there was a delay in the results. So I had to wait on the water. And then I was only told, then the sign came up, RSA, and then you can get excited.
Sure. There's definitely still more to unpack with Bridgitte Hartley. Moe motle ha re ya papatsong ha re khutla re tswela pele re bua le ena o re jwetsa ka dintho tsa batlang ho di pheta. Still ha re bua ka paddling o batla go fumana gao ka re ya go World Championships hape o batla go emela Africa Borwa papading tsa 2020 tsohle ha re khutla.
Welcome back. You're watching The Ladies Club. Continue to get involved on social media and join in our conversation. It's a special part of the show where we zoom in on a lady who has blazed the trail in the sports world. Our superstar today is South African swimming sensation, Marion Kriel.
The former backstroke and freestyle swimmer won a bronze medal in the 100-meter backstroke. Ha re bua ka dipapadi tsa 1996 tsa di Olympics tse ne di tshwaretswe kwana Atlanta. And she also participated in the 92 Summer Olympics kwana Barcelona, Spain, and received the President's Award ka selemo sa 93 le 96.
In 1994, she was the first woman to captain a multi-code team to the Commonwealth Games and did the same at the 1995 All-Africa Games. So as we look at our trailblazers today, a lady that has blazed the trail, let's also celebrate those women of today. One of those most definitely is the President of Netball in South Africa, Cecilia Molokwane. She was awarded the 2018 MEC Excellence Award as Netball Administrator. She also scooped prize money of 15,000 Rand at the Limpopo Sports Awards. And speaking about awards, you also had awards recently.
Yeah, I was at the Ekurhuleni Women's Sport Awards. I mean, it was the first time that they took place, inaugural Ekurhuleni Women's Sports Awards. And what an evening it was, because celebrating women within the region of Ekurhuleni, women that still want to go and have their names read out at provincial levels, at national levels. So I think where we're starting, looking at the community development, we really have a future that's really bright when it comes to wrestling as well. They were big winners on the day.
Oh, stunning. Recognition is so important, and recognition is something that, Bridget, you have gotten quite a bit of during your career. But it must also be quite difficult for a niche sport, or competing in a niche sport like paddling.
Oh, yes. It's amazing, actually, over the last few years, how many amazing awards there have been. And I think one of our biggest supporters is G-Sport for girls, because there's always amazing awards that we are given, and the recognition for the women is absolutely incredible, because and there's also been SA Sports Awards, which has just grown and grown, and I've been so fortunate to be nominated as a finalist for so many years, and I've won TUKS Sports Awards as well, and canoeing awards, and it's really so incredible to be recognized as a female paddler, because you never have a national awards usually, and it was, I think, only since recent years that they started making it more of a common thing, and the publicity for it is so big as well. So I even watch it when I'm not a nominee as well. Like, I really enjoy seeing who's nominated, and then it allows us to read up a little bit about the athletes who have made the top 3, and then you find out what the other people are doing as well.
Sure. And how big or important is support? Is corporate South Africa, first of all, support there visible in terms of canoeing? Do they back you up? How are they there?
Well, they definitely are there. I think it's hard to be able to make a full-time living on only sponsors along the way. You're always having, and the sponsors come and go. So there have been some amazing sponsors, especially in canoeing. Eurosteel have been backing so many of the paddlers, and that's been so incredible, because they're backing events as well as athletes and giving us support and funding, and a few others people as well. I've been helped by Lorium Capital this year as well, and as well as SASCOC along the years, and our provincial lotto. They've been so incredible, but at the same time, having it as a Cinderella sport, it's really tricky, because you're not going to be competing all the time for a big check. You're competing for a medal at the end of the day, and it's the backing along the way every month, and the smaller sponsors that really make an impact on us to allow us to keep doing what we love, and at the end of the day is a passion, but semi-career, but not a full-time career.
Sure. And then it depends on the results going your way, and then you have an Olympics like you did in Rio. How difficult was that?
Well, I think it was brilliant to get a medal, and then afterwards you get so much recognition and so much support, but then it runs out eventually. Like, it's amazing initially, but the build up to it, is not just a 1 year. It's 4 years or maybe 8 years for some athletes, and so then afterwards it's really great to go to a lot of talks and to speak at schools and to be paid for it, and it's really incredible, but it is over many more years than where you get the recognition from in that year.
Sorry, you in Rio now, so in 2016, the Olympics, it wasn't a meet that went your way. I think it was 8th place in the B final.
Yes, for the 500, which was my favorite event, and then the 200 meter, which wasn't, I actually did better in. And it was such a hard thing for me to come back from that, because I know how many people watch the Olympics, and I know how many people are so excited to watch, and then the race doesn't go your way, and you feel like you let down so many people. But then it takes a couple months or maybe a year, and you talk to people and they say, but Bridget, you still achieved the result and you still got there. It's not a matter of going to an Olympics and just competing for your country. You have to still qualify, and you did that and no one else did. So at the end of the day, you mustn't forget the fact that you still have an Olympic medal and you did qualify for those Olympics. And then it made me think, okay, well, maybe my paddling career is almost coming to an end. And then all of a sudden, I decided to just take it not so seriously this year and compete in a non-Olympic event and do some surf ski races, and I've now got some more fire in me to keep competing.
Tell us more about the surf ski racing now that you're giving your attention to for now.
Well, it's been a little bit of a different season for me, so I've done some more longer races, and I've taken myself to Mauritius and Ireland and Portugal and Hong Kong at the end of last year for Surf Ski World Champs, and they're all these incredible places that we never really get to go to.
Yeah.
And it's been so amazing to be able to compete at a different level, but win some money and also experience a different place, and it's a new adventure.
And then you come back and you go and compete at the World Canoe Sprint Championships in Portugal, and you get a bronze medal. And Rio is a distant, distant memory.
Yes, I definitely think that has been my newest highlight for a couple of years. I haven't achieved at that level for a couple of years, and it's really sparked some fire in me to want to train harder again and compete. And been competing for so many years, you slowly start to lose that motivation. And I loved racing at that level again and seeing the other girls in the Olympic events win medals and see how fast they were going, and it makes me think I can go that fast again too. So I definitely was probably one of my highlights again for a couple of years.
And have you seen more women, more young girls trying to reach out to say, we also want to take part in canoeing since London?
Yes, I definitely have. Actually, in the hometown where I'm staying at the moment in Pietermaritzburg, the level of the girls has definitely improved so much.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. They don't all train with me, but they come from school and then they have their little training groups. And there's been other girls as well from other towns that have also been blossoming. And one of the girls is actually one who I helped as a little guppy after I won my medal in London, and she was this big, and now she's almost taller than me, and she went to Junior Worlds for South Africa this year. So that's so incredible for me to see that there really is a few girls that have their own motivation, and they also want to improve and achieve at the top level.
Sure.
But you've got some goals that you want to achieve first before you actually really put the paddles to one side.
Yes, I definitely would love to go to Tokyo now. It's sort of been something that I've been sitting on the fence and unsure about, but I've decided now that it's actually one more season to qualify both for South Africa and then one more after that. And it's really not such a long time in the big scheme of your whole life. So it's something that I think I'd really like to achieve and maybe go for another medal, you never know.
All right, Bridget, unfortunately, we've come to the end of our time together, but my goodness, what a journey you have. And I'm looking forward to reading more about the medals that you'll be getting from the World Champs, and Tokyo 2020 is around the corner as well.
I can't believe it. And she is, as she said, she's got that fire back, and that is a good place for us to be able to see that from one of South Africa's top athletes, and certainly a role model for many, many young girls. Thank you for being on the Ladies Club, and until we meet again, remember that greatness is never given, it's always earned.
Till next week,
Bye-bye.